are close at hand. The open road is calling loud and clear. Miles of freedom stretching far and near. At the Offsiders Roadhouse we will stay. Fill it up before we ride away through the desert heat or city lights, trucking through Australian days and nights.
That's right, dear viewer, Mount Victoria is still closed. Welcome, I am Brad, back for another downhill descent. Yes, I know, but it's more of a POV for the entire Mount Victoria bypass / detour at the moment. So we are just coming up into Mount Vic now, in this stunning Blue Mountains area. Eagle-eyed viewers would know that, or see that this doesn't look like a Volvo at all. Pay no attention to the numbers next to the Western Star there. I think someone's just gone a bit crazy with the old chrome numbers, but it is a Western Star 4800 FX, and there's something else on the end of that. One of the quietest Detroits I've ever heard. At DD15, but lives up to the Detroit legendary status of being hard to keep oil in it. Maybe we'll get to that in another video, maybe not. The Offsiders know all about that. So we're about to turn off onto the Darling Causeway. Turn that down. I ain't done this once before in the Volvo. Surprisingly, oh, it's still there. Station Street does need a wide berth, although I don't think they're sending doubles over here, so if you are in a single, nice and easy to get around there. You're not meant to go that way. Hey. Or are they? Oh no, that's why the road closed the other way. They're sending everyone down there. There you go. So anyway, welcome back to Australian Trucking Adventures. I'm Brad. I swear we are going to get to some loading and unloading and all that sort of thing. I don't like how close that power pole is to the thing, but and also glad last time at the same situation where it seemed like all the traffic was heading back to Sydney, not heading out of it. So we might be lucky here and have a quiet run, but pay attention to the signpost up here, and this is where my gripes on this road will start. Trucks have been restricted to 70, and then all other vehicles, i.e. cars, allowed to do 80. Now all that's causing is traffic friction. From memory, there's only 2 short overtaken lanes along here, which would give cars a chance to overtake. But if cars were doing 60 as well as trucks, or if trucks were allowed to do 70 along with cars, then yeah, you're probably going to be a bit slower. Obviously, we're doing 60 at the moment. Hello. If you don't know the road, there's a couple of rough sections you're going to slow down in, and then there's sections where you're just going to stare over at the Blue Mountains like that, and then hope no one's coming the other way so you don't have a head-on. But I should point out too, we got a stick. 18 years of Eaton full of splendidness. Not exactly sure the year of this truck. The cab was stamped in 2012 for safety and all that sort of thing. So I'm guessing it's a 2012, 2011, 2012, 2013 era. So we're over 10 years old. I'm also guessing the 600,000 on the clock is 1.6 million, because it's not the original motor in it. Original Detroit had issues, and they ended up going bugger it, we'll just put a crate motor straight back in it, which now has issues in itself. So should have got handheld on this. Shows the views instead of the traffic. Another fuel truck. Obviously with all the fuel crisis at the moment, I don't think I've ever seen so many fuel trucks on the road. So yes, there's issues with supply, demand, distribution, all that, but there's a few companies that must have pulled the finger out, because I'm seeing dozens and dozens of fuel trucks every day out delivering fuel across the countryside. We've also got the railway line here heading west on our right. A couple of you mentioned, and thank you for letting me know in the comments. It goes out this way, and you're not going to see now, but the tunnel's over there where the Zigzag historical railway is. You're going to go past it. Unfortunately, we're already late for a 2:30 pickup in Bathurst today, so alas, another day I'm not going to be able to stop and go and visit the railway, but it's something I'm definitely going to do one of these days. If there's a day I can get across here and and not have a tight time frame to pick up a load. So obviously this road was never set up to be a major highway. I did see an article this morning that apparently $50 million has been spent on it, which is just going to make things worse, because you're going to have roadworks the whole way. But there are sections that need to be fixed, and sections that need to be maintained because of all this extra traffic on it. And with how wet it's been, it won't take long before things start to open up. Plus, also mentioned too, I know there is a steep descent at the end of this one into Lithgow, so we're going to do it in a manual truck. Again, if rough road. Monday, been in this truck for a week now. Monday went down to Melbourne and headed across to Adelaide. Got to go down the Adelaide Hills. That is that video is only going to be available for members, because as I discussed with them, Adelaide Hill was a bit of a wet fart. I can only imagine the only reason they've got a downhill descent warning and the speed limit on that hill is to keep your brakes nice and cool for if you have to pull up at the intersection at the bottom. There's nothing steep about it. The speed limit's 60 and not 40, so they don't care about how fast you go down it to an extent. If steepness was an issue, then it'd be back to 40 like everywhere else, and you'd creep down it. But I was in behind a couple of B doubles, and I think at times we're doing 30 or something, they'll just hold them back, and then while we're doing that, those other trucks rounding us up doing their 60 down there. So yeah, I won't be releasing Adelaide Hill downhill descent to the general public, just because I don't think it's worth it. Abercrombie Road was worse and it got less views, so the message has come through loud and clear that you don't want any more of this, but I don't know how long I'm going to be in this truck for. It's American, it's manual. So I'll film something with it. We're heading that way anyway. Not sure when this will be out to you. It's just going to get put away for a little in case of raining video. Then saying that, I'll probably just release it. We'll see how the Kyber Mac Mustard video done. If it come out and done poorly, then we might have this video out to use for Easter. Which, Easter long weekend, how's that $4 a litre fuel treating you? Just crazy. I hear there's word of companies just that gets to the point where you can't afford it, you're going to go backwards, so you're just going to park up. Some just want to park the trucks up because of or some because the bottom line they can't afford it anymore, whereas others just want to park it up to almost a Razorback 2.0, show the government that indeed Without Trucks Australia stops. But unfortunately the problem with that is all you're going to do is hurt the small, the people at home, the families and all that sort of stuff that do rely on supermarkets and all that. It's, the pollies are not going to worry about any of that sort of stuff. So now getting on to Chifley Road off Bell's Line of Road. Was that a copyright they never fixed, or was there someone actually called Bell's Line off and it named the road after him? And we'll get to it in a minute when we drop down into Lithgow, but all this traffic going through the main drag. Last time I come through it was at school times, about 3:15, and it was a near standstill gridlock of the main drag Lithgow, with kids crossing the streets and traffic lights and pedestrian walkways and everything else. It was a nightmare. It's a shame, this poor little camera's not going to do the views justice. One thing I've noticed this week, or even today, I don't know if it's just because it rained, but there's a few more noises, things rattling. So we haven't got to the zigzag railway yet, so I don't think we're starting our descent. Like your Ousley and your Mount Vic, this also does have a downhill limit. I don't think it's got a second extra lane. Looking back towards Sydney to the northeast. Colourful characters on the UHF as always. I should not that it matters, but I'll just throw the warning out there too, that don't believe every news article or photo you see online about what's going on at Mount Vic at the moment, at the Pioneers Bridge, what do you call it? Convicts Bridge. There's a lot of AI photos going around of drilling rigs on top of it, and I seen one the other day, it was completely collapsed. There's there's nothing going on with it at the moment because they can't do anything with it. They can't touch it because it's heritage listed. And if you got cracks opened up on top of a bridge or a causeway, you're not going to drill down into it from the top because that's not going to show you anything. You're going to go in horizontally from the sides to brace and to see how deep the cracks go. Should also mention we are empty on this. Just towing an old flat top. Nice little cutting. Ran into a mate at Marul and BP last week. He was coming up to Sydney in a double, and then he had to go out to Orange, so he was having to go all the way back down. I think he had to go back down to Goulburn, then up Abercrombie Road to Bathurst that way. It's either that or go on a fairway north to cut across, because this Bell's line of road isn't double rated either, which would be causing massive delays for fleets with doubles having to go west, east-west. But this is one of many reasons why, for the foreseeable future anyway, fuel truck, my licence will keep HC on it and not MC. Not only are those companies now having to pay for more in fuel by going the longer way around, but those drivers are spending longer in the truck and their days are longer when they don't get paid anymore for it. Yeah, she's blowing a bit up here. I haven't felt the old Star get knocked around this much yet, but it's trying to. Even if it is a little bit more aerodynamic than the big block of a Volvo cab. Definitely don't have the sway of the Volvo either. And yes, they are burgerings. Even though I swear they get smaller. Anyone that grew up in the 90s, tell me, confirm with me that you used to be able to put burgerings on your fingers. Be able to put them on like a ring. No hope of that anymore. Shrinkflation they call it. So there's a couple of rattles, obviously the wind deflector there. I've got to drill a couple of holes and zip tie that together, or even get me soldering iron and try and plastic weld it up a little bit. I think the rubber on the bonnet on this side is either out of adjustment or not working. Like that, one of those squeaks and squawks I can hear is the fiberglass on fiberglass at the front of the cab, fiberglass on steel. And I know down this bottom on the mudguard the bonnet's rubbing on the guard there, but that's our zigzag railway centre there. A couple of old carriages, the old, oh, get back on the road, the old train station, some signage. Here comes the rain. Speed. I don't think this is us yet, because we'd get a descent warning before we get to the actual descent, but if you can pick it up on the camera, you can see we haven't got much more hill left before it opens up into Valley. We're going to get a good look at that as we come out over this causeway next to the historic Zigzag Railway. Misty rain, which makes it fantastic for filming. Hello, Mr. Railway Line. Three things tell me that's an old railway line. Put down in the comments now if you know what those three things would be. Obviously, number one, no wires over the top, so we're not running electric trains on it. Number two, the tracks are joined together with plates, they're not welded, which train lines don't do that anymore. New South Wales and Vic at least. And that's correct. Number three, wooden sleepers, not concrete. Pretty nice cut there. That would have taken a bit of time with the old hand tools. Can't see around the front because of the air cleaner. Oh. And I'll say it now, thoughts on this truck aside, it is an American truck and it is as rough as guts. You haven't got as much weight on the steers as the Volvo, even with this little snout. Yeah, you feel the bumps a little bit more anyway. Try and dodge some of this rougher stuff. Although it's much better. This seat wasn't getting the air to it when I first got it to go to Adelaide, and the backrest was stuck in the recline position, and the cab airbag was buggered as well. So Monday and Tuesday it felt like I was on rails going over to Adelaide and back, which into South Australia the roads weren't too bad, but going out the Western Highway to Border Town was absolutely rough as guts. Lithgow down in there, we're coming. And coming back through the middle of down the Riverina through to Niliquin, that was pretty horrific as well. But that's the only reason people drive the American trucks. It's all for the cool factor, it's not for comfort. Start backing them down. Going into Adelaide the other day, it wasn't empty. I had 18 tonne of steel pipe, so I've got a feel of what the Jeep brakes do with the load on. Let's pull me up there now. I couldn't tell you which gear we're in. That one. Just holding off on this windscreen wipers because I know as soon as I touch them, they're going to smear. There's no bugs on there. It did rain all the way up to Sydney this morning, but they are not the best wipers and they need to soften up a little bit before they get effective. So holding it at 40, we're under 1500, so we got room for it to go up a little bit more. Top. I don't know how to read the gears once you split it and go up into the top box. We're going to have to go down a couple here because this bloke's doing way more than 40. We'll go down to full gear. Oh, there we go. So we're back into 6. 6 low, 6 high, down half a gear. I don't bloody know how to say what gear I'm in. I thought that MK would have been touched up a bit more by now, but if you called a 10 speed and didn't worry about the split in half gears, we're in 6th gear. Because how 8 high low, 5 high low. Oh, rightio, so high lows aside. It's high low, whichever lever you flick. I don't know, I just let my fingers do the talking. So yes, you got a dual lane on the way up for slow moving trucks, obviously heading up. You don't have that luxury on the way down. It is single lane all the way down. .20-ish k's an hour. Probably split it and go down half another one here just so we're not running too close to them, but it's holding. Go rail yard. Decent safety ramp up there, hasn't been used for a while, or has been graded recently, whichever you prefer. Yes, the pocket doubles, they are going over there. Oh, come on, in you go. Got away from you there. So we went up one whole gear instead of splitting them. Heavy wrecker on standby for the inevitable brake failure or something worse going uphill. Now that's not as bad as the last time. Again, school times. There was traffic lining up all the way along here. So I need to. Although I should be able to just follow the signs to Bathurst. Don't need guidance yet. It's weird though, that sounds like it's coming from the roof, not down below. I don't know why it sound be coming from the roof unless the party hat on the sleeve was coming loose, which I hope that's not the case. Unlike the Volvo, I haven't had any water come into this one yet, so fingers crossed it stays that way. There's nothing worse than a day or two after rain, or you've had the bunk cooler on humidity and realise water hasn't vented out of it, or the cab's let water in and there's stuff up there that's been wet for a day or two. Not only is it ruined, but you start to get that smell coming through camp as well. So unfortunately it's not just a matter of just following the street out to the end and get back on the Great Western Highway. We do have to do a bit of a dog leg and go through the main drag, which is just a product of back in the day when roads were built. The main road come into town, the main road went out of town, and the town expanded around that. If you're lucky enough to get a bypass put in at a later stage, you were, but then again, this is not meant to be the main drag through Lithgow. It's meant to be the Great Western, which has had work done to it, has been widened to multiple lanes, and is currently not being used except for local traffic only. Nice. wipers and we don't get any more rain, those spots are gonna stay there, aren't they? So quickly, normal gauge cluster, rev, speed, air, fuel doesn't quite work. Again, lovely old trucks, fuel gauges don't work, alternator, and then oil pressure, water temp, oil temp, all manual. It's the one thing I've had to get used to getting out of the Volvo. It's just everything's manual again. Manual brakes, manual, and I just went up a gear when I shouldn't have. Oh. Oh, do I leave that in or do I cut it out? The offsiders would know that there have been some whoopsies when I've been too busy talking and not busy enough paying attention. Even something trivial like lights. For the last, and the clutch brake needs a hand too when they put the motor in. You just got to give it a. Doesn't like to go in. Yeah, just being used to the Volvo for the last 4 years of the lights are instantly on as soon as you turn the ignition on. Now you go remember at 7:30 at night to turn them on and wonder why everyone's flashing you. Same with cruise control being switches. Yeah, windscreen wipers, exhaust brake, high, medium, low settings, all that stuff is just levers on the Volvo, whereas now she's back to a physical button. The trailer brake being backwards, you got to pull it to apply it. No, you got to pull it to release on this one. I'm pretty sure the Kenworths, you lift that up and push it and that releases, I think. Again, just something I've done off muscle memory, so I can't remember which way it actually goes. Fuel tanker empty. He's got his DG signs closed. So there's another thought too. Yeah, they're not letting B doubles up over the top of the mountain, but they are letting fuel trucks and dangerous goods up over there. You've seen how tight and windy that road was. Even the downhill section, if there's an accident on that, it is going to completely cripple freight going to and from Sydney to the west. There's something else I was going to bring up there when I was looking down at that. Oh, yep, it's to switch either side for your mirror, control your mirrors in and out, which is great, but you'd think if you got power mirrors in the old style like that, you'd also have a mirror heat button, but no mirror heat button at all. And very aftermarket looking window winders, electric window up and down there, no handle. The old Western Star Detroit engine data display there. I'm not touching any buttons, I don't know what they do. I don't want to turn the truck off. There, cruise. Yeah. Electric horn doesn't work. We've only got our air horn, which is rather trainish. Not so much in loud, but in tone. And then there's the space inside. We had definitely lost room when we got into this out of the Volvo. The bed's probably 8 inches narrower. No storage in the roof. Everything's just chucked in until I can work some more stuff out. Those that follow me camping channel, I'm thinking something along the lines of the milk crate apparatus I built for the front seat of my Colorado to go there, with some drawers and stuff just for bookwork and paperwork and that, because there's nothing. We've got multiple UHFs up here, radio, hand pieces, and some storage where I just got some sunnies and some camera gear up there, but they are not very big. And Officer Plod's going to come and follow us out. This is where we're going to do our dog leg through the middle of town. We are going to use both lanes, which is going to be fun now because we are at the traffic light and we don't have a turn, so we've got a pedestrian walking, otherwise we'd get a green arrow. And Officer Plod's going to come and watch us do it the whole time. But that's what we need to do so we don't run up. There are wheel marks on the concrete there where a couple of people have come in not realising that they can't turn left from the left-hand lane. A couple of old buildings. Some buildings made to look older. And that's the main drag of Lithgow done. Alright, got about 2 k's now and we'll be back out onto the Western Highway. Last time I was here I had to go to Oberon, so the best way to get there was to turn left and head back in the Western Highway, past all the road closed signs and local traffic only signs, back to the Jolion Caves Road, which is well, it's the way I know of getting to a bit cold to be exposed in the mid-drift. It'll be about 11 degrees out there at the moment. Sign that winter is rapidly approaching. But yeah, Apple Maps wanted me to go up here and then head off out into the hills there, and like I mentioned the members when we were doing Abercrombie Road on the way up that it's funny, on your plug-in GPSs, your Garmin's or whatever, you see on the road, you can see how, for the most part, how sharp corners are. If there's a tight corner come up, it normally shows on the GPS, but Apple and Google Maps, there might be a 40 or 50k turn ahead of you, but it just shows a gentle left or right turn. It doesn't actually show you how steep, or how sharp I should say, the corner is. I'm hoping we can turn left from here. I assume so, since at least one car's got its indicator on. And again, if I wasn't talking, definitely doesn't want to go into fourth. Grind them. But yeah, wrong way. Got to here last time, seen that road closed sign, I'm going, oh, maybe I can't go that way, but I did anyway. And just like that, we are back onto the Great Western Highway, westbound to Bathurst, Orange, and then on out to Dubbo. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I know now that the descents aren't getting a lot of views, so luckily that's the last one I think I'll do. There is still Macquarie Pass, which a few of you have commented, go do it. Trust me, next time I go to Port Kembla or Wollongong to get steel, as long as it's not oversized or over length, I'll go give that one a go and we'll have some fun on Macquarie Pass. But I suppose there was a time 2 weeks ago I said I'd never go down Adelaide Hills too, but here we are. 50 k's to Bathurst. Where is it, that one? Yeah, smudgy. Hopefully we get a little bit thicker rain, heavier rain. Also mentioned, and putting a call out there to anyone that lives in Bathurst. I've talked to a mate during the week that's V8 supercars and racing and Mount Panorama nut. I was trying to find out if there's a load limit. Could you take a semi around Mount Panorama? Now, I've been out here a few times, a few different times of the day. Obviously, late at night or early in the morning when I've got the place to myself would be handy. Of course, we're not going to speed. The camera does not show how steep some of the corners are, the drop down off Forest Elbow and that sort of stuff. But just go out there 40, 45k an hour and just putt around Mount Panorama in a semi. Can you do it? Someone will know, someone will let me know, and about 20 of you will call me an idiot for wanting to do it, but bring it on. So, thank you. Keep on checking out past videos, membership, all that sort of stuff. I know how hard it is, and this call goes out to the members as well. If you are finding it hard to pay for fuel and all that sort of stuff, I don't appreciate. No, I wouldn't hold it against you if you quit your membership and that as well, or you haven't got the funds to join at the moment. So it is going to be a trying time. That sign back there was 100, wasn't it? Bugger it. I'm not doing 80. Come on, Detroit. It's so quiet, but I'm glad. How many blokes that drive old trucks now with Detroits in them? Yeah, it's good for a novelty around the corner and that, but wouldn't want to sit in them for an hour or so, or an hour longer doing a trip because of how bloody noisy they are. Not without wearing earmuffs or earplugs or whatever. Just grateful. Whoever got this truck in the start, got all the scroll work done, some of the chrome. It's got more lights on it than the average truck, yet there was no box to tick for the Adelaide Sporties or any exhaust system for it, which I'm also grateful for. It'd be good for a 5-minute video, but it would not be good for doing Melbourne, Adelaide, Melbourne, Albury, Sydney, Bathurst, Albury. I'll get out of the truck at the end of that week and wouldn't be able to hear anyone for the weekend. But that is it. Members, thank you very much for your support, and yeah, I'll catch you all in the next video, guys. Thank you and goodbye.